Thank you for tuning in to the Patricia Show. My name is Patricia. Please press like, subscribe, and share. Share this audio with someone who you think can benefit from it. Now, today we're going to talk about God within you because I'm sure that a lot of people really don't understand what that means. The reason I say that is because if you really understood that God was within you, then why do you search outside of yourself for results or for answers or requests that you have? For example, let's say that you want more money. You need some extra money to pay some bills or whatever. The first thing people usually do is look to increase their hours at work, look to find another job, put an ad in the paper to get another job, or something like that. Ask a friend, do they know a place that's hiring? You're basically looking outside of yourself for more money. But when you understand that God is within you, you no longer look outside of yourself. You turn within and you request that you desire more money, extra money to come in to your life. Then you wait, and then you'll begin to see opportunities come to you. You no longer have to search for the opportunities. The opportunities will come to you. They will literally fall in your lap. A friend might call and say, hey, they're hiring extra at my job. Or you might get an idea to start some type of business from your home. The opportunities will come to you when you turn within. So now, another example, let's say that you're looking for your ideal mate. What do we usually do? You ask your friends, can they hook you up with somebody? You go to an event trying to meet a mate. You might go to church, go to a bar, wherever you go to look for a mate. But you're still looking outside of yourself. But when you know that God is within you, all you do is turn within yourself and then make the request that um, you desire to have your ideal soulmate into your life, or you desire to have a relationship with a man that is or a woman that is compatible to you, however you wish to phrase it. Now, when you're dealing with when you really started turning within yourself, you'll understand that it works on repetition. But actually, when you're turning outside of yourself, it's repetition too. Because for an example, when you're looking for a job, you're not going to just go to one job and look. You're going to go to several jobs to look. It is the same thing when you turn within. Instead of you going anywhere, you make your request, but you're going to make your request more than once. The more you make the request, the quicker the request will be granted. So if you're saying, I desire extra money to flow into my life, then you need to say that a few times a day. Anywhere from 2 to whatever, 7 times if you want to, a day. You need to go within and repeat that request. And like I said, if you're going outside of yourself to look for extra money at your job or wherever, you're going to do it more than once. So the same principle applies when you're going within yourself to ask for something. You just repeat the request more than once. Now, another example. If you're requesting for your ideal mate to come into your life, now when you do it outside of yourself, you don't go just to one place. You don't go just to church to look for your mate. You might go out wherever you go for entertainment. You might go as a friend. You're going to ask more than one friend. So what are you doing? You're still seeking it more than once. So when you ask the request, you have to state your request more than once. It's the same principle. Now, what happens if you do this? What I'm telling you, you will cut out any struggle in your life. You will no longer have struggle. And people who know you will say, oh my God, you know what? Things just seem to drop in her lap or drop in his lap. Wherever he wants, he just seems to get it. It just shows up in his world. Because that's how that power, that God within you works. Whatever you're desiring will just show up in your world. But the way you're doing it, when you're seeking outside of yourself, you're struggling because you're trying to do it yourself, and you're not putting it all in, like they say, God's hand. You're doing it. When you look outside of yourself to get more money, to get your ideal mate, to buy a house, to buy a car, or to get money to buy the house and the car, whatever you're doing, understand this. When you seek outside of yourself for it, you're doing it. When you go within and make the request, God is doing it. It's a big difference.
Recording in progress.
When God does it, you do not have to struggle. There is no such thing as struggling. When you do it, you're struggling all the time. And even though you're struggling, that doesn't mean that it's working. Because don't we often struggle for things and then we never get them? Or it becomes a lifelong quest. I know people that have been trying to get more money, at a better financial situation for 20, 30 years. And they're still doing the same thing that they did 20 or 30 years ago. They're struggling to make ends meet. They are struggling to get more money. I've seen people who, maybe people I knew when I was younger, and I see them 20 years later, they were trying to get money then, they're still trying to get it. Or they were trying to get their ideal mate and they still struggling. Now, they might have been even married a couple of times. I met this lady not long ago that I had, known when I was younger. She said she had been married twice. Both times the marriage was a disaster. She was still searching for her ideal mate. You see what I'm saying? Still years later, and she's still struggling. But if she had a turn within to that power within her, she wouldn't be struggling anymore because she would have met her ideal mate or the man that it was most aligned with her. Well, they could have, no relationship is going to be absolutely perfect unless you're both working on yourself to make it be that way. If one person is working to work everything out and the other person isn't, you're going to have a lot of bumps in the road in that relationship. Because first of all, you both have to be on the same page and really want the relationship to work and be dedicated to the relationship, okay? So when you request your ideal mate, you're just requesting someone who is going to be better suited to work out the difficulties that you have, that you both are having. So God being within That's not just something that you say, it is true. If you thought that God was sitting in the chair in your living room, wouldn't you go to that chair in the living room and try to talk to God? Yes, you absolutely would. So now, if God is within you, why don't you turn within to try to talk to God? Why wouldn't you go within? If God came through your front door, you would give him a list. I know I would of everything that I want. I want this, and would still be talking today. You see what I'm saying? If you know that God is within you, why won't you turn within and do the same thing? It's because you really don't know that God is within you. And you really don't understand what that means. Because if you knew what that means, believe me, you would never have any struggle. Your life would be grand and you would be happy as happy can be. And you would have a life filled with joy, success, prosperity, peace, harmony. Just name everything that you want, you would have it. Because you would turn within and request it. But instead of that, what you're doing is that God is within you, but you going across the street to ask what you want. God is within you. You can ask for all the money you want, but you going across the street and you rather struggle to get the money instead of letting the opportunities fall in your lap. You know, there's an old saying that things don't just fall from the sky. You know, I remember telling a friend of mine, look, if you want to make, this is before I understood about God, I would say, if you want to make girl, you got to get up and go and find one. God is not going to just bring him to your front door. He's not just going to fall out of the sky. Little did I know that statement was not true. Well, he's not going to fall out the sky, but that opportunity will fall. Because maybe you made the request to meet a mate. And then a friend called you and say, hey, why don't you come over to our church today? And then you have this feeling like, you know, I was thinking to call her because I was going to go to her church today. And then you go to her church and, hey, there he is or there she is. That's close to falling out of the sky, if you ask me. That's as close as you're going to get to falling out the sky. So that whatever you're going within to request, the opportunities are going to show up in your world, and you don't have to be running after the opportunities. So that's one of the reasons that I know you don't understand that God is within you. One lady I met, was telling me, yes, God is within you, but she's naming the place where he at and this and that, and she's still turning without herself. You know what I mean? She's naming, well, I don't even know what she told me God lies within you. I don't even know where she said, but I disagreed with what she was saying. But I guess what I was trying to show her, it doesn't really matter where he is because inside of you, because you're still focused outside of yourself. So first, you have to understand that he is in there. Then we could talk about where he is. You know what I mean? But you got to understand that he's even in there because you're focusing outside, because she was paying an absorbent amount of money to a healer that all she had to do was turn within and request a healing of her body. So this is going to be part one. God is within you, or God lies within you. Because there's a whole lot I want to teach you about that so that you can begin to change your life. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Patricia Show. Have a great and fantastic week. And don't forget to press subscribe, like, and share.